Hello, my name is Erin Gall, and I'm the chair of the Small Business Committee for the Rocky Mount Area Chamber of Commerce. And we are here this morning at Carney and Company with Jessica McKnight to celebrate the Small Business of the Month for December 2020. And thank God we are rounding out this year and we're getting 2020 behind us, but I think we are probably ending it with one of the most well-known companies in the area. They think big, they do big everything. Carney and Company has been around since 1980. Skip Carney has been a leader in advertising and wonderful marketing plans in the Rocky Mount area. And we are going down the family line with Jessica, his daughter, who's the president of Carney and Company. I know they have won the Small Business Award before, but they are not the same company that they were in 1980. They have a wonderful revision, program or process that you put businesses through, make them think outside the box, and kind of rediscover who they are, but keeping their traditions and roots. So Jessica, tell us about Carney and Company and what you guys are doing in 2020 and your role here at the company.
Well, thank you. We're so honored to be recipient of this award. And I know we've received it before, like you said, but it's always an honor. And we have evolved a lot in the last 40 years. This past January was our 40th anniversary. So my dad, Skip Carney, started the business in January 1st of 1980, and he's always been thinking big, and I grew up in the business with him in ads and TV commercials and radio spots, and followed his footsteps into marketing. And I joined the business a few years ago, and since then we've really been focusing on the revision process, which you mentioned that he created about 10 years ago, which is a strategic planning process that really pulls in some innovation and gets people thinking outside the box as to how we can solve their customers' problems. And we take that, and as we go into 2021, we're looking forward to using that more with our clients and taking their businesses further.
We know Carney and Company is a local company, but you have opened an office in the Triangle area. Is that
in the Triad? Yes.
Oh, the Triad. Yep.
Yeah. I'm actually in Greensboro, so we opened an office a few years ago there. So it helps us to serve clients all over the state.
So they have grown regional in the last 40 years. You will obviously recognize some of their local marketing campaigns. I know Southern Bank is a big feather in the hat, and all of us locals are very familiar with the ad. They'll talk about some other of their clients and what they do, and we just welcome Carney and Company as another winner, and we are glad to round out the year with 40 years and another anniversary coming up very soon.
Thank you.
So congratulations, and thank you so much for your partnership in the Chamber.
Thank you.
Excited to be here with Jessica. Jessica, you and I go way back, don't we?
We do.
I remember when you were Miss Rocky Mount. Folks, I'm sure you can look at her and not be at all surprised. But you grew up here. Now you're living in Greensboro, right? But you're very much here a lot. As now President and CEO of Carney and Company, is that right? Or is your dad still emeritus, or what is he?
I am the president of Carney and Company, but my dad is the Chief Sunshine Officer.
Gotcha.
Called the CSO. So he walks around with sunshine in his pocket. So he's still holding that title.
Well, and Erin mentioned 40 years. In January, you celebrated 40 years. What was it like when he first started? I know it was very into video and that type of thing, but kind of talk about the early days for us to put it in perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, January 1st, 1980. My dad opened Carney and Company, and it was a recording studio at first. He was a DJ by trade, and if anybody's heard his voice, he's a voice for radio. He'd say he has a face for radio, but he has a voice for radio. So he started the business that way and did a lot of work with local companies, and it evolved into an advertising agency and evolved into what it is now. Over the last 40 years, he's been really involved. We have some clients that have been clients since before the agency actually was officially an agency. Chambliss and Rabel has been a client for 41 years. We have some clients that have been around for 30 years, and clients like Southern Bank that have been clients for 17 or 18 years. So my dad is really big on building relationships and being all in and just digging into our clients' businesses so that we are part of them and we can help them the best way that we can.
I like that description. Your dad is all in. I've known him probably since I moved here in '86, and that is a perfect description of your dad being all in. And how exciting for him to have you come. How long have you joined him in the business?
I joined the business in May of 2018.
Okay.
So we had talked about it for a while. I've worked in marketing in the Triad, which is where I live, my whole career. But just a couple years ago, I joined the business, and the plan was to for me to eventually take over the day-to-day and become the president, so that he can do some of the things he does best, thinking big for our clients. And when I moved to the Triad, the plan is also to expand to cover clients across the state.
And your sister, Spencer, I love her columns in the newspaper. She's very gifted, isn't she?
She is. She's a great writer. She's very smart, talented. I'm so proud of her. Because she graduated from Carolina in December and joined the business this past May.
And what's her role?
She is an account coordinator, so she helps us manage projects. And she is also a copywriter. As you mentioned, she writes articles for the paper. And when she first went to Carolina, that was her intention, was to become a journalist. And
well, the two fit together. With marketing and journalism.
They do. They fit together really well.
Yeah, I was a client with Almonds with Skip, and I have to tell you, he had us go through that re-envisioning process. And at first I thought, well, that's weird. But then when he explained why and how people get so used to doing the same old, and that you got to come in and actually we're going to watch some testimonials from some people who've been through that. But he developed that himself, didn't he? That whole concept.
He did. He about 10 or 12 years ago, he came up with the revision process, and the way how he came up with it was through some reading and formalizing some of the processes he does, and he realized, well, wait, this is how I've been doing it for 30 years anyway. So it was really just taking how he'd always approached clients and formalizing it. But what we do is we take a step back and look at what are the problems you're really trying to solve, and what are the things that maybe you don't see, and then how do we really get to the heart of what your customers need to hear from you to connect with you on a deeper level. And everybody that goes through it, initially they think, oh, it's, I've heard of these kind of things before, but as soon as you spend a day with us doing that, you're like, oh wow, that really is different. I've never thought about things like that, or taken a step and looked at things differently in that way.
And to have a group of the employees all sharing things that maybe they haven't known that they've been thinking about and kind of socked away, oh, that doesn't mean anything, but to have people really make charts and they're coming up with ideas and they're brainstorming and stuff. I mean, what a great way to bond within businesses. But also, I know with us, he came up with the fact that Almonds needed to reinvent the Westridge store. And we, over the course of a couple of weekends, just gutted all the furniture and put in all new, more modern cubbies and painted it beautiful new up. And it made, I have to say this, and Skip, I'm sure you're watching this, but I think a number of years later when I got ready to sell it, the fact that it looked more modern, more new, more with it, helped in the marketing of even selling it. But our customers came in and they said, wow, wide open aisles, everything just displayed so beautifully. I wouldn't have done that without your dad. Yeah. But he pushed us out of our comfort zone. And I think you've probably heard that before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that is, like you said, it really is one of the big benefits is we get all these different people together, and you may all see the same problem, but you have a different view of why that's a problem. And so it's never just marketing. Well, my dad would say that everything is marketing, but from the business's perspective, it's never just a marketing problem that needs to be solved. There's usually something else that needs to be corrected or just adjusted or fixed all together to really make sure that wherever we go with marketing gets the best result and solves the problem the best way.
I tell you what, with Hampton Farms, just because we've really talked about this, but we need to have one of your clients, besides me, come on and tell what it meant. So let's go to that right now, and then we'll be right back.
Okay, sounds great.
I think we've spent more time asking, coming up with more questions than I think we would have, I would have envisioned, but it's been a really good opportunity to kind of get those things out. It's something that you can have somebody there to keep you on the tracks and on the rails, but kind of ask you the questions that maybe you haven't thought to ask yourself, and really kind of coming to the table, having those things picked at and bringing out the items that kind of live underneath the surface.
Every problem we identify has lots of legs that go with it, and you can go down a lot of channels, and it really identifies how many challenges there are to succeeding on any opportunity. It made me think of our issues, which we had been thinking of as a very specific issue when we first started talking, that by the time we went through the very first project, it became a much bigger issue. And it really opened up my eyes anyway to seeing how the big picture of a small aspect can really cross all of our different divisions of the organization.
Jessica, he was a happy customer, happy client, wasn't he? And you've got a whole bunch of those, and we're going to put on the screen where you can go and look. But I was writing down things like uncovering hidden opportunities, create a bold new vision, jumpstart your strategic plan. I mean, and I smiled at thinking of your dad, because I've known your dad a long time. Your dad thinks big, doesn't he?
He does.
And he pushes people out of their comfort zones to think big. And there are not a lot of people who have that gift to do that. So I bet he was fun growing up with, wasn't he? So.
He was. Everything's an opportunity is what he would say. What he always says, that if you're in business, you have problems. And if you have problems, every problem is an opportunity to be solved. And so if you can dig deep enough to uncover what those opportunities are, then you're going to be more successful. And he's always a lot of fun. He's a ball of sunshine.
I bet he is. A good friend, late friend, Bill Daltrich, used to tell me if you're not changing as a business, you're going to go out of business. You've always got to be. And I think he and you, in his footsteps, are change agents to get people who are comfortable where they are, but they're not going to make it if they don't change to the new customers. And of course, now more than anything with social media being what it is. And have y'all had to adjust a lot with social media? I mean, has that really impacted your methods of marketing to people? I guess you do a lot of the videos for them and those types of things.
The whole digital marketing, everything is online. Everything's very targeted, and you can get very specific in who you're talking to and how you're talking to them. And that's evolved just over the years. But as an agency, we've always tried to stay ahead of that. We had green screens and we're shooting video before. I think most people had that. So
and tell people what a green screen is.
I'm sorry. Yes. So a green screen, you film in front of it, and then you can change the background to whatever you need it to be. So it's an easy way to do video in a lot of different, and to capture a lot of different mediums. So but we use social media and all the different forms of digital that's just the way the world is going, especially now. 2020's been a year, and it's evolved. The technology's changing so fast. Keeping up with it is required. I mean, you have to keep up with it now.
Do you get most of your new customers through referrals, or are you constantly throwing out ways to attract new customers and clients? I mean, you've really evolved from, I guess, as you started off according to this, from business to company, and now you're business to business. You've got a lot of long-term people who've stuck with you, and I would think that you're adding on new ones all the time too. How do you market yourselves?
Yeah, that's a great question, because you're busy. The cobbler's son never has any shoes, right? So we're always taking care of our clients. But the way we've gotten our business mostly over the years has been through referrals. I mean, my dad's been a staple in the community. He has a lot of relationships with people, and he has a reputation for being successful in what he does for his clients. So that's mostly how we get business through relationships. But we also market ourselves. You're always trying to talk to people and meet people, and especially with revision, because it's a great way to start and lead people through where they want to go.
And you mentioned that, in fact, we're going to try and show with the testimonial I gave for how he helped. So you've got some of that information on your website too. So that would be interesting to go, and I'll have to go look, because I'd love to see some before and afters of what. And he actually came and he was physically helping us. I mean, he doesn't just tell you what to do, folks. And I'm assuming you're the same way. he's there helping to haul out things and tear down things, and he didn't paint, but he would have, I'm sure. But I mean, he's all in, and that the company has the reputation of being all in. And such cheerleaders. You know, we are always through the chamber, you know, which the award is from the chamber, looking to all be cheerleaders for our community. And I think that's one of the things I think most when I think of Carney and Company. Y'all have always been community cheerleaders, but individual companies, small businesses and whatnot, right there behind saying, you can, you can, you can. And let's be sure you succeed. And that's something that I think we all need to hear, because we get in the weeds, like you said, and to have y'all come in and present, okay, let's look at the future. Let's see how you can get bigger and better and succeed.
Yeah, well, you're only as good as your community and the small businesses that support it, right? I mean, we're deeply rooted in that, deeply rooted in the businesses and all the communities that we serve, because the people make up business, people make up communities, and the people. If you don't have the people, then you're lost. Well,
and a major part of your dad is C12.
Yes.
It's a Christian organization where and I have been to one or two of their meetings, and you were in it for a while, right?
Yes.
But kind of tell people how that has layered in helping drive the type of business people you are.
Okay. So C12 is a group of Christian business owners that get together once a month, and there's usually about 12 people, hence the name, but it's rooted in learning about how you can bring Christian values into your workplace, also how to make you a better business leader, and he's been very involved in that for about 10 years or so, and trying to pull those types of things into what we do and how we also serve the community. It inspired him to write a book.
And talk about that. I love that.
Yeah, called The Greatest Church in the World. And this was, he released this in October of 2018 when he lined up with a conference called Renew 18, where he brought pastors from all over a few different states. A bunch of pastors came in, and we had a conference
at Wesleyan College.
At Wesleyan College, and Tom Rayner was there. And what we were trying to do was give pastors actionable tools to then take back to their churches and their communities to keep churches from dying. You know, to help kind of revitalize them and take a look at where their future is and where they want it to be, and how they can get people more actively involved. In the book, it gives it has beacons on how to be the greatest church. So things that you can do within your community to help build up your church and make it.
And I've seen a number of churches who bought a number of those and gave them to the leadership and said, okay, you know, if we keep doing the same old, society's changing, and we need to look at ways that we can better meet the needs to grow the churches. And the examples in there are just wonderful. I mean, I have read it, and I just think it's a terrific book. Where's it available? Where can people get it?
Well, they're here at the office, and they're on Amazon.
Oh, good.
Amazon as well, so they're available. And there were some in Almonds.
At Almonds, yeah, and I'm not sure. I haven't. You know, they're open again now after COVID. So, but yeah, I think we sold a bunch of them there. But it's not so much for the profit for him. He really wants to help people succeed through this, and churches in particular. It's a personal mission of his, isn't it?
It is. He's also working on 2 more books related to this. One's a workbook, so you can actually take the principles in here and apply them to your church. And I'm not sure when those are going to be out, but I know he's working on those right now. And related to C12, he's also partnered with ICM, which builds churches in third world countries.
Oh, good.
And he's partnered with C12, and they're on a mission to put a church in walking distance of every Honduran. And they're in the process of building 2 of those churches right now. And, you know, it's just, again, it's part of his, you know, his mission and what he feels, driven by.
Wonderful. Gosh. What an inspirational dad you had. I mean, that's just absolutely wonderful. And I want to talk about a lot of things y'all do for the community. I know that, are you in the Rotary Club in High Point? He's in the Rotary Club here. That served on boards of Boys and Girls Club, Red Cross, Twin County, Community Pride, Nash Arts, past president of. Now, some of the agencies or some of the groups that y'all been members of, or he's been members of, that are business specific. He's won awards. I think I've seen some awards around here of things he's gotten. The Marketing Communications Agency Network, East Carolina Advertising Federation. others. Why is that important for y'all to be in with groups that do the same thing you do? What are the benefits of that?
Oh, yeah. Well, so McCann is a group of agencies up and down the East Coast and out to the Midwest a little bit. So we aren't competing, but they're business owners and entrepreneurs that are trying to figure out how to do the best things for their companies, for their clients, for their communities, and they meet a couple times a year, but are always talking to each other, trying to figure out what should we do next, or how do I solve this problem? And it's a peer group of people who have experienced things. We have things to share, and they have things to share with us, and it just makes us better. It makes us better.
Well, great. Well, and other things that he's done in the community too. He's always the MC for the Twin County Hall of Fame, and like you said, his voice, it's just absolutely wonderful. And I'm trying to think of other Wesleyan College. He put that group together there, and he just really cares about the community. I've never asked him to do something or known of something through the chamber or whatnot where they've asked him to MC or asked him to do something. And he's entertaining when he does it too. It's almost if he's on fire. I mean, he's in his element when he's an MC.
Yes, I think he is. Growing up, he was always. I remember him always doing things with the chamber, DJing at events and MCing events and putting on events, and he's always up for helping people do something better. Thinking about how they can do it better and differently, and help the community. And I think it does drive him. I mean, he's always wanted to learn. He's always wanted to learn. So I think doing things like this helps him learn. Okay, we did that this way. Now, how could we have done it better? Or what can I take from this experience and apply it here?
And he gives that energy to his clients. In fact, let's watch Sandra from Southern Bank. Let's do her testimonial right now, and then we'll come and wrap up, okay?
Great.
It makes you think. It asks questions that get outside your comfort zone. And it helps you look at the process differently and gets you away from standard canned answers. It's very interactive. The more you put in, the more you're going to get out. The collaboration between the team, being around the table. You may think of things that you've never thought of, but more importantly, you're going to hear things that you didn't know they were thinking of. The value proposition piece, I believe. We know as Southern that we want to provide value. We want to be a relationship bank. But how do we transcend that and present ourselves as a unique value proposition in what I would consider a fairly commoditized industry? That's been challenging to try and come up with potential solutions. Oh, I think it's been great. I think it's given us some potential tools to take away for other projects and meetings at the organization, not just specific to trying to improve this particular process.
I love the testimonials on your website. And Southern Bank has been a long-term client of yours, hadn't it?
They have. They've been clients for at least 17 or 18 years.
And there's nothing that says you're doing the right job as to stick with the same person, because people, I see that the people that y'all have had through the years, they know that you're going to grow with them, you're going to help keep them on the cutting edge of everything they need to do. Back to the award, Small Business of the Month. You have had several business after hours here. I remember when you remodeled everything, and you've actually got a recording studio upstairs in this same building, don't you?
We do, yeah. We have a green screen upstairs so we can record video, and we have a recording studio so we can record audio as well.
And do y'all, people could say, well, I couldn't be on TV. You prepare them, you write the script, you, and of course, can edit and let them try. But I mean, I just think to coach people to do that, because we're very much a visual society now, and need to really put things out there. You're in Hampton Village. This is not, you mentioned your dad has moved a number of times, but you've been in this location how long?
For a long time, probably 15 years or more.
And how, if people are thinking, you know, I probably need to shake things up a little bit, I might give them a try. What do they need to do? What are can they call anytime? And
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they can call here to the office. They can email. Our website's carneyco.com. It has all of our contact information on there, and you can even schedule a time to talk on our website.
And how many employees are here?
There are about 8 of us here.
Okay, but plus you have another person or two in the Triad area in your office there? Or?
Right now it's just me and the Triad.
You?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We work with several really talented people that aren't here in the office as well as part of our team.
Well, I would think a lot of people, you know, of course, because of the COVID, are working at home, and so what you do, unless you need to come in a video with somebody, you can do an awful lot of your work remotely.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the benefit. That is a great thing about technology these days. Is you don't have to all be in the exact same place to get things done.
Well, again, congratulations, and we're so glad that we've got your company and your dad in particular for all these years, and now that he's passed the mantle to you and Spencer, because Rocky Mount likes people with a positive attitude. We're a great town. We're very proud of our roots. We're very proud of where we want to go. Through Norris Tolson and Carolina's Gateway Partnership, we're growing, and we need people tooting the horn of the great things going on here like you all do. So, Jessica, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you, Jean.
And thank you. Have a great day.